Right, we're live, alright?
Alright.
Fucking hell.
We've argued for the last 10 minutes about a mic that you can't operate. You said it had broken. It's not broken.
It was broken, now it's fixed.
Because all I did was look at it.
Well, yeah, sometimes things just need a woman's touch, don't they?
Apparently, I didn't even touch it.
Well, you looked at it, and you know what?
It worked.
What I've learned in my 42 years is if girls look at you in a certain way, there's an immediate action to be taken. And the mic
responded well.
Yeah, the mic must be male. He'd learned. He didn't respond to me. He responded to you.
So now we're over that blip.
So yeah, we're on episode 25. We've randomly gone live at a weird time, so no one's going to watch. Even fewer people are going to watch. But you have.
Should we tell everyone why though?
Why?
Because like an early night.
No, it's nothing to do with that. Well, I do like an early night, but that ain't why. We've just got a bit going on, haven't we? So we're just trying to fit it in.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do, we're going to try and do this for all of our shows because we're behind. We're massively behind. I know you don't like doing them, but when I try and go in different directions on podcasts, you're like, hang on, I'm associated with it, so you can't do that. So I'm like, we can't have it both ways.
Different. There's one.
It's just a different direction.
Okay.
It is different. That's not factually incorrect, is it?
No. I just like to keep it. I don't mind you doing your own thing.
I don't mind you. You're all right.
But you just need I don't know, just a certain leveler.
Sometimes, but that's just because of the rest of the world. It's not my
Right,
fault.
let's not digress. So episode, what are we on? 24?
So 25.
25.
Yeah. And the title of this one is Where Has Torie Been? Which I'm guessing the hundreds and hundreds of viewers
So many people want to know right now.
will be wondering.
Yeah.
So why haven't you been on this podcast for the last
You've not invited me.
I think they thought you'd already gone. I think they thought you'd fucked up on your world tour already.
No. All the bits that you have to do to make that possible apparently are pretty time consuming. So sold the house, moved. It's just been busy. I'm not gonna say Paul makes it all from a means to an end. It's definitely not that, but it's just been crazy, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And to be fair, I've not done as many as I've been doing. And I said it to Elliot last week before when I did the last one with the project. That's the only one we've religiously done, which goes down pretty well with members. And I said to him, I didn't want to say too busy because you're never too busy. No. But what I did change it to saying is like, I've just had different priorities. Which this is a passion project. It's a bit of fun. I do like doing it. But when there's stuff that's actually moving things forward and you only have so many hours in a day, you do have to prioritize. And I think one of the things I've learned in the last, it sounds silly to only say 2 months, but since I were at the last Entrepreneur Circle convention and then Coaches Congress, I think we've talked about it, but I committed to doing the 60 minutes, and the 60 minutes for anyone not aware that hasn't watched previous shows is basically allocating a set amount of time each day to only work on your business, not in it.
Yeah.
The Entrepreneur Circle recommend 90 minutes, but if you can't do 90, they say start at 30. I started on 60. Some days I've done 90 just by default. But in 3 years of trying to do that, it's only the last 2 months, just over 2 months now, where I've religiously done it every single day.
And has it helped?
And it's helped massively. But what I was getting at, the point was more around the fact that, same with this podcast, I had to sacrifice something that I enjoyed doing because I used to read for the first hour of my day. And I love doing it. And because I'm reading, it makes you smart and all that shit that you think. But it didn't actually make a blind bit of difference to business, especially not with the books I read. So I was like, right, I'm going to sacrifice that in order to be able to do the 90 minutes. And it's been amazing. And that's the same premise as what I was saying about the podcast. It's if something has to slip, it obviously has to be this. I've still tried to do one a week, but and I guess you're finding that yourself, aren't you, with how busy you are with everything you've got going on.
Absolutely. I make myself coming backwards. But it was a period that we knew was going to be busy. We're about to go into a really busy month for multiple reasons, aren't we? And then we're in 2026.
Well, do we need to turn that light off, do you think?
No. Do you want me to?
I don't know.
Well, what's it doing? Is it making you look old?
No, the fact that I'm old's making me look old.
Do you want me to turn it off?
No.
Why are we clapping?
Don't know.
Right, so what we've been up to? What we're catching up about?
Lots really. So we've got Rogue, I've got Black Friday, and then I've got something that I've been up to, and I wanted you to do something that you've been up to as well. So just to put a bit of variation in there. Then I've got my learn of the week, which I only do on this show.
Okay.
Well, I do it every week on LinkedIn, but I brought one to the show, and then we want your top tip.
Okay.
It's been a while for that. So I think when we do these reviews, so Rogue we'll talk about in its entirety, but I think what we should do is maybe ask each other, or we can both answer the same question rather than ask each other, what is so basically we did Rogue. I'll get to the question.
Okay.
We did Rogue. For those that don't know, it's the biggest, arguably the biggest CrossFit competition in the world. Like, it's on a par with the games for multiple reasons. I think one, because it's Rogue, two, because of the show they put on. They're not trying to find the fittest on earth, which the CrossFit Games is, but they are trying to find like the best at showcasing the workouts and the equipment that Rogue use. So it is a really prestigious event. We did really well at it last year, so we committed to going back this year. All the top athletes were there this year. I think we're only missing Tia, but it's since come out that she's pregnant, so we'll let her off. Give her a pass. She's going to have another baby and then go back and win CrossFit Games, because she is just not human. She's insane. So yeah, so it is like a massive turnout. Were great, and it was just amazing weekend for us and for everyone that seemed to be there as well. But what I wanted to do was kind of be like, right, what was your favourite thing about Rogue? And what was your least favourite thing about Rogue? So I'm going to ask you that.
My favourite,
apart from the company, of course, because
Millie and Joey were really good, to be fair.
That's safe.
My favourite thing about Rogue is the fact that it was a little more planned this year, in terms of we knew exactly what we were going in for, what would work better, and the fact that it was almost seamless the whole way through. I think that was my favourite thing about this year. I love the event, to be fair. It's definitely my favourite. Well, I know I don't go to as many as you, but it's definitely been my favourite one to go to. But yeah, I think everything went pretty smoothly, didn't it?
Yeah.
From all the planning, everything that we'd learned from the previous year, all the stock was here when it should have been. Yeah. Everything was less stressful. We thought about everything down to sort of how many hangers we took, how many bags we took, how everything was packed in bags. And then, so all of that, I think that was my favourite thing, was just how well everything went. So it goes to show that planning does pay off. And sometimes it doesn't, but that time it did.
I think planning when you've been before as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the year before, we were just not winging a prayer, but it was the biggest one we'd ever done. Whereas obviously going to do the same again, even though it's hard to preempt numbers, which we've learned our lesson. What goes well last year may not go as well this year, but it still gives you something to start from. But all the planning in terms of like the travel, the van, how much equipment you took, how much kit you took, just all of that.
Yeah.
That was my favourite. My least favourite by far was the fact that it was on half term and over Halloween. So I missed double whammy of Oscar for 5 days.
Yeah.
So that was terrible planning on their part. Obviously they can't think of everything, but Halloween, most people celebrate. And the fact it was half term week for the majority of the UK, was a big miss. So yeah, that was definitely my worst part. What about you? What was your best favourite and least favourite, most favourite? It
is weird that they did it over Halloween. I don't think I'll give them a pass on half term, because why would they even know about half term? Because it won't be the same term time in America. But Halloween, it's like, it's almost as big as Christmas in fucking America, maybe bigger in some places. So it was really strange, because obviously Rogue are an American company, so they're coming over here.
Yeah. And
then they bring in a lot of the staff who will have been in a similar position to you. But yeah, so that was a bizarre one, but it wasn't my low light.
It shouldn't have been. I'm sure you love Halloween, but
yeah, as much as I love trick-or-treating and ignoring children when they come around and ask for free shit just for putting a mask on.
Hey, he went as a ghost this year. Did very well.
Did he?
He did. Anyway, what was your favourite?
So my favourite thing about Rogue was, what was it? It's like, because obviously you always take the piss out of me for being a CrossFit nerd. And
I don't take the piss.
You do. You take the piss out of me for everything. So.
Well, yeah, that just falls within it. That's not just one thing.
So then we'll just completely prove my point.
Does anything take the piss?
But what I would say is just like, I love being at Rogue. I love just the feeling of our brand being alongside some of the top brands in the space and being at Rogue. Like, and it is funny because obviously anyone could go there. I don't know if the numbers were limited, if they only let so many vendors in. Obviously, we went last year, so I'd assume that if we go again, we would have a preference, but we had to pay. But it's that prestige thing that comes along with it, which is bizarre, is, you know, people are like, oh my God, you're at Rogue. It's like, well, yeah, anyone can go. But it still has that gravitas around it, you know, that sort of, that aura. And I think that's because people like me that are deep in the space and love it, they know where Rogue came from, how they started, you know, like literally complete self-made multi-billion-pound company now. Like, it's just insane what they've done. And then to be a part of that, and, you know, it kind of makes me feel like, I don't know, it just reinforces that feeling I have of the CrossFit space. Whereas if you work hard in it and you help people along the way, the community that you only really find to that degree within the CrossFit community, I think will help you and push you and motivate you to do more, be more. And then the opportunities that presents, I think it's just never more sort of relevant and never more on display than at somewhere like Rogue, because they are people that did that, you know what I mean? And then it makes me think, right, what can we fucking do? It's
a very powerful brand, and I think the way that they've delivered their story and their values that they've stayed true to, I think is very apparent.
Yeah,
like it was better than last year, and last year was good. They thought about things that we had fed. I'm sure everyone had fed back, but they'd like streamed it, hadn't they? So we weren't completely in the dark in terms of what was happening. So we didn't feel like we needed to rush in and see every event. They laid it out slightly differently, so it was better for viewing, less congested spaces. So they'd literally thought about a lot. The only thing, my only complaint was the food.
Yeah, but which they won't have control.
Which they don't have control over.
And like the other thing that maybe goes unnoticed that Rogue do when they come to this event, they always try and they do it more so with the strongman, but I think they did it with some of the CrossFit events as well. Is they'll try and put something in that's got local heritage and history around it.
Yeah.
And they did it with the forging of these big sort of barbell type wheel things, they were like axles that the strongmen used. And they've been forged by someone using some kind of metal that was, and it's just those little touches that I just think they obviously take pride in what they do, where they go, and then want to repay where they go. You know, they do a lot of work at CrossFit Aberdeen. We went into that new gym.
That was amazing.
I mean, that's like a Rogue gym.
It smelt new.
It's like it's like insane. So yeah, just being associated with Rogue, whether that's because we paid them money or not, is irrelevant. But equally, the worst bit for me, and again, this is like kind of it's a negative and a positive. So on the last day, we could only trade for about 90 minutes of the 4.5 hours available.
Yeah.
And that, for me, was a bit of a miss on Rogue's part, just because where we happened to be in Vendor Village, basically meant that, well, I'll tell the full story, is they had an event where they were going to be running outside. All the athletes were going to be running outside. And because the weather forecast was a bit up and down, this is where like it shows how good Rogue are. They didn't want the athletes, who are the main pull, they're the spectacle, that's what everyone comes to see, to have inconsistencies in that event, which shows a real good level of like sort of awareness of how workouts can transpire, because a lot of comps don't have a fucking clue. And I think that was good for that point. So basically, they didn't want some people to be running outside in the rain, some people to be running in the sun, because obviously you wouldn't have been able to run as fast in the rain, maybe because you might slip. And it just makes sense. But what that meant was they put the run course through Vendor Village, which on the face of it sounds fucking great, because everyone can see it. You're up close and personal. But the run track went exactly across where our store was. We weren't alone. There were a few of us, which meant that for the duration of that event, which took about 2.5, 3 hours to complete in its entirety, nobody could get to our shop. Whereas the rest of Vendor Village was open. And because the athletes were in Vendor Village, the spectators were milling about. So it just meant that
Sunday was a bit of it.
Yeah, it was a bit like, and then we did fucking great considering we didn't have much to. And like I say, it was, we were sat in front and they were all running past us. We did a reel that got us semi-viral with Danny Spiegel, which were quite funny. But my main source of frustration came after the fact. So Rogo was asked for feedback after, which is great. So I just said, like, we had a great weekend. They asked for figures as well, if you're interested in providing figures. So what I did, I just contextualized the fact that on Friday we were X up. On Saturday we were X up. On Sunday we were X down, all because of that. And I said, I appreciate why it happened. Basically, everything I just said, I get it. But I said some form of acknowledgement of the fact that we were impeded or impacted by that would be something that I'd be looking for. And what frustrated me most was 2 weeks later, I got an email. I don't think I've even told you this. I got an email back from someone, not from Maggie, who looks after the vendors, from someone else, that just said, we have noted your concern, basically. And I was like, now you've given me a bad experience, because they'd looked at what I'd said. And I weren't asked. I think one of the vendors were moaning and kicking off, saying he wanted money back and all sorts. Like, because I don't know if they obviously didn't have the best weekend. I weren't doing that or any. I just wanted them to sort of own that and just apologise. And they didn't apologise. They just said, we've acknowledged, because I said I want some form of receipt that this has been acknowledged. And they were like, basically, we acknowledge your complaint. Like, that were a miss for me, because I weren't asking for anything. I just wanted them to say, look, yeah, we appreciate that was a bit shit for you. Sorry that you couldn't trade all day on the Sunday, because you do pay a lot of money to be there. So the only thing I came away with them was, right, so they didn't want to apologise because they didn't want to admit they'd done something wrong in case I was doing some, I don't know, legal thing to get some money back off them. And I weren't. I just wanted them to own something that I thought were a bit shit. But they didn't. So, yeah, just a little, you know what I mean? If they'd never responded to my survey, I probably wouldn't have been. Even know. Yeah, it's just when someone responds. And I think that's a good lesson for anyone in customer service, in any impact. If you ask someone for feedback and they provide you feedback, whether you fucking like it or not, if it is something that should have been a bit better, you have to act on that in an appropriate way. Otherwise, I don't know, you could turn, if you'd asked me on my, if they asked me for an experience chart, I'd have probably given them an 8 out of 10, like on the MPS survey, which I know is passive. But now if they ask me again, I'd probably be 5, because I'm like, well, I told you something that I thought was wrong, and I didn't ask you to do anything other than realistically apologise. So yeah, so that was my worst bit.
Nice.
So Black Friday next.
Yep.
So Road rolled end of 1 month, Black Friday the end of the next month. So
did it a bit different, really.
Yeah. What do you think to what we did? Would you want to tell them what we did?
No, you can tell them.
Oh, don't you know?
Yeah, I did. But I'll get it wrong when you stop me halfway. So
on Black Friday this year, so we have our VIPs, we have our mailing list, and then we have anyone that either isn't on our mailing list or just discovers us through social media. So what we did this year was we locked the website down and made it password protected, which is a bit of a gamble, because 2 reasons though, like I think for that one, which I'll come on to, but the first reason was I just wanted to make sure, so we locked it on the Sunday. Our Black Friday started in a stepped manner from the Wednesday, and I just wanted to make sure that nobody really bought Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because if you bought on Tuesday and then we're like, oh, Black Friday, Wednesday, it's a bit like, oh, I should have waited for that. Which I know as a consumer, most people know that everyone's going to have Black Friday deals. Yeah. But so I'd started teeing it up by saying Black Friday were coming. Then on the Sunday, sent an email out that said, website's closed. This is when you can get in. So then our VIPs got a password sent to them on Wednesday. So they got 24 hours before anyone else for them to shop till their hearts were content, and their VIP benefits still contributed to further discounts in shipping alone on this one. Yeah. And then on the Thursday, our mailing list got emailed the code, which gave them 24 hours before then it was open access to anyone. So I liked it. I liked the way we did it. I liked the staggered approach. I liked the fact that it rewarded our VIPs first, then our mailing list, because they're our core customers as a rule. And it was, I don't know, it kind of gave us a little, I don't know, it just felt like it had a bit of structure, I like a bit of structure. So
you do.
What do you think?
I definitely like the premise, but the only thing I find difficult is, it's hard to analyse if that's gone well or not. And I do struggle with, because you'll never know, because it's not like you can do a half and half in that scenario. It's kind of all in or not in at all. So I agree with you when you're saying you should have waited on Tuesday, but that's on the consumer, not on us.
Yeah, it is, but it's all about, yeah.
It is on them. Like, I do it, even though I knew Black Friday was coming with Amazon, I was like, I need to get it sorted now. Because when I'm thinking I need to shop, I'm very impatient. I just need to get it done and off my list. So, but no, I think we need to try new things every year, because I think it keeps it entertaining and interesting for the consumers that we do have, like you say, the loyal customers, VIPs, mailing list. But yeah, my only bits that you can't analyse
Yeah.
if it's gone well or if it hasn't.
We had masses of people attempting to get in the website on Wednesday.
Yeah, but then do you know what I mean? Is that missed opportunity? Would they come back the next day? So yeah, I don't know. I definitely like the structure and I like the premise and I like what you've done. But yeah, that's the only thing that I find, because you couldn't ever say if we'd have done it this way, it'd have gone like this.
Yeah.
So that was
it was interesting as well, because without going too political, the budget got announced on the Thursday.
Yeah.
So them robbing bastards came after everyone, which, regardless of what you think politically, when the whole world, the whole country is talking about how shit the budget was, it's going to make you have at least half an eye in your back pocket, even if it's a small window where then you forget about it next week because really not much has changed yet. But in that moment, it fucking impacted us.
Yeah.
And then when I spoke to a few people, it impacted quite a lot. And then we recovered it over the weekend, which was good, because I was like, fucking hell, we're a bit down here. And by a bit down, we were a lot down. And then by the end of the weekend, over the course of the weekend and then the Monday, we ended up up on last year, which was, I would not have thought that after Thursday.
No.
But it just shows the impact of social media, because, everyone's algorithm, whether you were pro or anti, whatever nonsense Rachel Thieves did, I think it showed that it was it impacts people's spending. And I think that's a challenge for everyone, isn't it? Because stuff that's outside of your control that you can never legislate for can impact you. And that was a good example of that. But it just means just keep doing the right thing, like what we did after Thursday, not being quite as strong as we'd have hoped. We just upped the emails we were sending out.
Yeah.
And by the end of Monday, we got where do you stand on that? Answer it in two ways. So from a consumer and from a seller. What do you, do you get wound up by all the emails you get on Black Friday?
No. Because even though I can be going, answer it as a consumer and then a seller.
Yeah.
So as a consumer, if the problem is, it's all about timing, isn't it? You're going to be inundated. You do. Subject lines are so important in that, so important, because obviously we've all got 1,000,001. Most of my Black Friday spend, I'd probably say 65% of my Christmas shopping was done on Black Friday based on the emails that landed in my inbox. The rest I went to go and find, and I went to go and search for. So no, I definitely think from a consumer, even though it is annoying, but if you don't like the company that are emailing you, you just unsubscribe. So the ones that were emailing me were the ones I remain on their database. So no, it doesn't bother me. I'd rather know about it, because then it forces me to, because I am, as everyone is, busy, but I won't sit there and scroll. I'm going in for a reason. I'm going in quick. Yeah. I know what I want, and then I'm off. So no, I don't think you can ever send too many. And if you don't like it, unsubscribe, and then you'd have to deal with it. The seller side, again, you can never send too many for the reasons that I've just said. If they don't want to hear from you, then they should unsubscribe. You don't want them on the mailing list anyway. And the right email's got to hit the right person. It's got to be the right message at the right time. Very similar, like you say, that 60 or 90 minutes, you've heard them bang on it for 3 years, 3.5 years. And then now is the right time to do it. So no, I disagree. I think you can never send too many emails. And I do also think emails can go out wrong. Sometimes you can send an email and it goes to the wrong people, and then you can send a second email and it gives you an excuse to email twice, and sometimes rescue it. And we've had some amazing results off the back of that.
I remember when I did it. I sent a broken link, and then I sent another with the right link, and I got so many messages saying that was genius marketing. I was like,
it was just a genuine mistake.
I sent the wrong shit.
But you just own it, and you can make a joke out of it. It makes you human, and it actually makes you more likable.
Yeah.
When you can say, "Oh yeah, no, I did fuck up. I'm so sorry. Here's the actual right. Here's the right one." Because we are a small brand like that, and that shines through for that. So I do. I like. Yeah, I like it. Email marketing is powerful if you do it right. And
the titles, you've just got to be we have some fun with that. I had someone that I think
someone messaged saying how good your titles have been.
So Jamie from Method,
he
messaged me just to tell me that he thought my email titles were fire. And I I love getting praise, but when it's from someone like him that I think so much of, he's one of the best fucking marketers there is, gym. You know what I mean? In the UK, that's probably it's top 3 gyms in the UK. And for him to take notice and then pay me a compliment, I was like,
yay.
And it was funny because basically I think he just liked the one that said penis in the title. But, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are in your business life.
He took time out of his day.
Every bloke thinks it's funny when they see a rude word. So yeah, I think I've come around to the idea of emails way more.
Really? Took us a bit of time, didn't it?
And it was good for me though, because what I did use it as an opportunity to unsubscribe from mailing lists I no longer want to be on. So we got quite a few that unsubscribed this time, and it used to, I don't know, I used to not really look at that anyway, that data, but obviously now we track data much more efficiently. And it's hard, it's weird, because when someone subscribes, it's actually a bonus. Because they were never going to buy, and it saves you paying to send them emails
that they're never going to read.
Yeah, so like before, when people had unsubscribed, I'm like, fucking hell. Now I'm like, yeah, fuck off. Don't let Dora your way out. You no longer.
It is a good thing. Cleaning your list is so important. Otherwise, you are just spending money for nothing that's ever going to create a return. So you're better doing it, and doing it probably more vigilantly than we even do. We could probably put a game on that. We've started to put, just for future reference, a dislike button.
Yeah.
So depending on what you think to the emails, please like or dislike at the bottom.
You know my problem with this is, right?
Here we go.
My problem is, if someone's there, I like the premise of it, but only if they're saying they like it. And that's not an ego thing. Let me finish. So my thing is, if someone tells you they don't like something, but doesn't tell you why, which they won't have an opportunity to do.
I was going to say.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I'm like, well, what? You don't like emails? You don't like the font I use? You don't like that picture of Torie I used in it? Like, what? I can't make it better.
So don't ask the question.
Exactly, but we want to ask the question.
We definitely want to ask the question, because I think it's good feedback, because it's even if it's a short feedback or a little feedback loop, there'll be a trend, and that's what we want to monitor.
You know, you fuckers, we can see who clicked which button. So don't be saying you don't like me, Mum. I'm going to find you.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. What am I going to do?
Nothing. You're absolutely sod up.
Why do you like me?
So just like or dislike it, so we can start to steer more of what we like.
Yeah. Right. Anything else? So have you been up to anything else that you want to call out? Exciting?
No, nothing exciting.
No?
I am really boring.
So I'm doing 1,000,000 meters in December.
Well, to some people that is boring.
Well, let's see them fucking do it. You know what? I said
right,
this.
Go on then, what are you doing?
Someone were on about this at gym, and I just did my usual fucking moron thing. They were like, oh, there's this challenge where you do like 10K for 10 days or something. There's some Concept 2 challenge. And I was like, oh, I'll do that. And then I was like, well, that's not much. I was like, I'll do 500,000 meters in December. And then I was like, oh, well, fuck it, I'll do 1,000,000. Just purely. And then I was like,
So that means how many a day?
Well, what I worked out then was 32,000 meters a day. So then I was like, again, having done none of it, I was like, oh, that's easy. And then about 4 days in, I said to you, didn't I? I was like, 4 minutes, this is going to be rate shit. Because the problem is with it, you have to average 32,000 meters a day. And that's all well and good when you're doing them. But if you miss one day, it's a
lot to make up for.
So my legs are in bits already. But I'm currently averaging 40,000 a day. But this week, I've got some commitments outside of my standard commitments, which means I won't be anywhere near a C2 bike for at least 2 days. So then I'm up against it. So
I'm really pleased it's hurting you.
But yeah, I like it. I like doing stuff like that. I did get like one thing I find when not just about this challenge, but when anyone does anything, right? There's always someone, isn't there, they'll say something about it to make it better, or say, well, someone said, oh, you should have done it for charity. Oh, you do it for fucking charity. I just did it to do it. I didn't want to be one of them people that I thought I'd just do it. I like doing hard shit anyway. But you know, when I just found that mindset of, oh, you should have done it like this, or you should have done it like that. Well, it's easy to say, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I just think people just fucking stay in your lane and get on with your own shit. Don't tell me how I should do my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This winds me up, stuff like that.
Do you feel better for getting that off your chest?
Yeah, they'll know who they are now.
Oh, okay. They'll be the one that dislikes the email.
Yeah. They obviously dislike everything anyway.
Maybe we should put it on the podcast. Can they do that?
Well,
Can they dislike the podcast?
Well, they will never dislike the podcast. There's only 3 people listen. It's our friends. So we're all right. And to be fair, ones that don't like it, they text me and go, that was shit. What are you on about? So it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Right. So now in close, Do you want to do your top tip first, or do you want me?
Stop pointing at me.
Do you want me to do my learn of the week first?
My top tip.
Okay.
Because you spoke for the last 25 minutes.
Fucking hell. She said before we started, she was like, it doesn't matter anyway because you'll do all talking. She like wants me to.
I'm just here to facilitate your chat.
You know, you facilitated fuck all for the last 6 weeks.
Been busy. My priorities have been in a different order.
To be fair, there were one that I cancelled, so I'm not staying up till 8 o'clock
It was
tonight.
you that cancelled the one that we'd pre-booked, in my defence. Yeah. Thank you for admitting that, so I wasn't going to bring that to everyone's attention.
You should throw some shade back. I like it.
God, how long you got? Right, top tip.
Yes.
Was don't take the first no for an answer.
That was my learn at week.
Was it actually?
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Probably means what's wrong coming from you.
Don't take no for an answer. Sounds a bit rapey, I'm not going to lie.
That's what I mean. It's okay in a business sense.
What I mean that way?
No, well, yeah. It's all right in a business sense. So basically, what happened was I had 3 meetings with a prospect, and then we had a final meeting. And basically, because obviously conversations through emails, I think, can be challenging.
Yeah.
And through text messages, it's the same thing. You know, when you try and, like, I don't know, dilute an argument or have a crossword, sometimes it's just easy to pick up the phone and have that conversation. Anyway, so the emails had got crossed. We'd got kind of a different idea of what it looked like. And he said, look, I just don't think it's going to work for me. But thank you so much for your time. So I just messaged him back and I said, look, can we just pick up the phone, make sure that, because, you know, I want to make sure that this, you know, we either come to an agreement or we agree to walk away. Anyway, it was one of my favourite conversations ever. And I remember, like, Colin, who works with me, she said, are you nervous? And I was like, no. And I don't know, like, normally that is something that would have worked me up, but I'm such a strong believer in everything that I knew I could do for him and his business, and the impact that I know I could have. And I said, look, you know, this is the situation. This is where I stand. He told me where he stood. And then we basically agreed somewhere in the middle and ended up with a longer contract because of it. And he sent me an email after. He was like, cannot wait to start working with you. So, and that was a very clear no the week before. So I just went back and said, like, you know, can we have another conversation? So it was a massive, massive learn. Just to open the door and pick up the phone and literally have that open and honest conversation. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, looking forward to starting with them in January.
So do you think then that, right, when you hear don't take no for an answer from a business point of view, we're not talking about like pushy salesmen that don't leave you alone. What we're talking about is understanding your customer, having substance and knowing that what you do can benefit them. And if you don't take no for an answer in that instance, it will reap rewards, because I guess when, you know, if someone gets you and gets your business, which, you know, we've had people that have helped us in different ways that get us, it's like, you don't feel like you're being sold to, do you? You feel like that person's actually trying to help you. And they are to a point, because the best salespeople are the ones that listen to you, work out your problems, and then provide a solution to them. Yeah. And I remember after you got that no, and me and you were chatting about it, you were gutted because you knew you could have such a positive impact on that business. And there were nice people that I knew I'd work well with them. So it just shows that, like, you know, doing your work, doing your own work, doing your groundwork, doing your research, and then understanding how you can help them. Because at the end of the day, when you're, especially in the service you're providing to people, you want to be able to help them. And if it's something that's going to be difficult, but like outside of what your specialities are and skills are, then you don't want to do it anyway, do you? I don't want to work with anyone that I know I can't make an impact, because it ends up being, it consumes a lot of your energy, doesn't it? When someone, you know, essentially pays for a service but doesn't get the service, it's more infuriating. And we were having this conversation the other day, weren't we? Like, it's more infuriating for me than it probably is for them. Because I'm like, because I want to make a difference. I didn't get into this to not. So yeah, no, it was amazing. So it was like lower than a snake's belly, and then higher than high when we turned it round. Lower than a snake's belly. So yeah, it was. That was my learn of the week. No, top tip of the week. What was your learn of the week? My learn of the week is that everyone starts somewhere. So it was more in. I think we've talked about it before briefly, but you know, like, people look at where people are and think that they can never get to that, or they put themselves under pressure to reach it and all that. And I think, like, what you have to do whoever you admire, whether that's business, sport, personal life or anything, you got to realize that that person, and it sounds very cheesy to say, but was once where you are now. Like whatever part of your journey you're on, nobody wakes up successful. Nobody wakes up like a brilliant businessman.
Athlete.
No one wakes up a top athlete. Everyone has to start somewhere, put the reps in, put the groundwork in, put the work in to be able to, to learn and grow and flourish. So if you want the end result of being where someone is, you've kind of got to just accept that you're going to fail along the way. You're going to get shit wrong. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. But they did that. They didn't just wake up a superstar. So everyone starts somewhere, and everyone that you look up to and respect started exactly in the same position that you are now. So don't ever think you can't make it. It might be hard, and you might want to use excuses along the way of like, well, they got this, they got that. No one successful really got handed anything. So yeah,
I think that works on the flip as well. Because I've had conversations in the last few months, you know, when people are selling what they do, or even selling themselves, or promotional, what you're selling or what you're talking about, there is someone who doesn't know or hasn't been there yet. Yes, there are people that know more, and that's almost the inferior complex that you can come with going, you know, why would anyone want to listen to what I've got to say? And you're like, but you have to look at it, like you say, as part of a journey. Yes, there are people further ahead than you. Hopefully there always will be. If not, you're in the wrong rooms. But, you know, otherwise it's the people that are wanting to be where you are that you could impact. And I think it works both ways, doesn't it? There's nowhere that you're on that journey, but looking both ways, not just in one direction.
100%. Done?
Absolutely. Ow. That hurt.